Hola amigas y amigos y bienvenidos a esta lección sobre los adjetivos, la concordancia y el sintaxis. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. In this lesson, we're going to be talking about adjectives, their syntax, and agreement. So let's go ahead and jump right in. We need to start off with the most basic premise here, adjectives. And I need to make sure that you know what adjetivos, what adjectives are. So take a moment and in the sentence below, the quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog. I want you to tell me what words there are adjectives, or, well, identify for yourself since you can't tell the video. The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog. You may want to pause it if you need more time because here we go. Right there, quick, brown, and lazy. Quick and brown are adjectives, descriptive words that describe fox. Lazy is a descriptive word that describes dog. And that's exactly what adjectives are. They are words that describe nouns. And of course, nouns are people, places, and things. So adjectives describe people, places, and things. So we're not unfamiliar with this idea of concordancia, of agreement. We have talked about this together before. But I want to go ahead and review really fast some really key notes. So down in the bottom right corner there, I have us remembering that words that end in O are usually male. Now notice I stressed usually there. And words that end in A are usually female. This is a general rule of thumb, but it is not a concrete rule that never fails, unfortunately. There are lots of rules in Spanish that are concrete rules that never fail. This is not one of them. So let's see what we remember over here. So I'm looking at the word perros right there, and I do see an O there toward the end, and I see an S. So that O is telling us that this word is masculine, and that S is telling us that this word is plural. So let's look at the chart that's right there beside it. What option are you going to choose to say the dogs? El, la, los, or las? Hopefully you are saying los perros, because that is masculine plural. Let's look at the next one here. Madre. Now we can't look at that E and tell us anything, but we do know what madre means. Madre means mom or mother, right? And that is female. So let's look at our options here. El, la, los, and las. Well, the two female ones there are la and las, but madre is singular. So we're going to go with the la. La madre. And then we've got un, una, unos, una, unas, días. Now, I'm seeing toward the end of that días there an A, which might indicate feminine. But remember I told you that usually a word that ends in A is female. Sometimes there are exceptions, and this is one of those exceptions that we have talked about before. Días lies to us. It is actually masculine. We learned this in our first unit when we talked about the expression buenos días. Buenos is masculine, días looks like it's feminine, but that buenos tells us the truth. It's actually masculine. So we're going to want to start memorizing that días is a masculine noun. So keeping that in mind, let's look at the chart. I see un, una, unos, and unas. Which one of those is masculine and plural? Hopefully you're saying unos días. Unos días. So this is all agreement is. Looking at the noun, determining male or female, singular, plural, and then the article that describes it is the one we choose. Los perros, la madre, unos días. Well, this concept also transfers to all other kinds of adjectives. So let me move my little guy here so you can see. All right, so here we're going to finish out this sentence with some adjectives. Los perros son. Now, we've got four options here. Antipático, antipáticos, antipática, antipáticas. Four different ways to say, remember what the word antipático means? Mean, or unpleasant, however you like to translate it. So we're saying the dogs are mean. So perros, I'm noticing, is masculine plural. So we're going to choose the masculine plural form of mean. This is not groundbreaking stuff. I know you all probably already know this, but it's okay. I need to formally make sure that you are aware that antipáticos is the correct answer because perros is masculine plural. So we'll look at the next one. La madre. What are you thinking? Simpático, simpática, simpáticos or simpáticas? Which one you going for? Hopefully you're saying simpática, feminine, singular. Now how about this next one? Unos días son. Now we've never even studied the word largo before. I bet you could probably guess what it means, but that's irrelevant. We need to make sure it agrees with días. So what was the gender of días again? Masculine. Don't let it fool you. So we're looking for the masculine plural. Unos días son largos. Largos. Masculine plural. This is agreement. Any adjective, it doesn't matter how far away that adjective is, it has to agree. When we learned about time, the word hora, the thing we're describing when we say es la una, the word hora is not even in the sentence for una to refer to. But the very fact that we know that it is referring to hora makes us use that feminine singular, una, es la una. So this connection between agreeing nouns and adjectives, doesn't matter how far away the adjective is, it is going to reflect the gender of the noun that it describes. So let's move on to our next topic, syntax, Sintaxis. Again, a big fancy word for word order. That's all it means, is the order of words in a sentence in its most basic form. So in Spanish, I'm sure you guys have heard this before, that Spanish is a little bit backwards compared to English. I don't prefer to use the word backwards because that kind of is like a very egocentric way to approach the language, like, oh, my way is right and everyone else is backwards. I don't really prefer to talk about language that way, but I get the gist of what people are saying. Because in Spanish, instead of saying the quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog, we would say the fox quick brown jumped over the dog lazy. And to our minds, that is just really difficult to get our heads around. I understand that's a struggle, but that is one that you're going to have to get accustomed to. And I'll promise you'll get to the point, if you use it enough, you'll get to the point that it's very natural putting adjectives after noun. You won't even have to think about it. So let's see what this looks like. The short sister is clever. Remember, we're going to switch the normal word order in English and put the adjective after the noun. So the word short, which describes sister, is going to go after the word for sister. La hermana baja es lista. Also, check out my agreement there on lista, by the way. La hermana baja es lista. The short sister is clever. So, here we see some examples of adjectives going after noun. Tengo ojos verdes. Verdes came after ojos. So if we were to translate this in the exact order it is, I have eyes green. The next one, mi hermana tiene pelo rojo. That adjective rojo there comes after pelo. Mi hermana tiene pelo rojo. My sister has hair red, if we were to translate it exactly as written in that order. Next one, mi mejor amiga es alta. So mi and mejor, those are both adjectives describing amiga. But wait a second. Notice where they are. They're not after the noun, like I told you they're supposed to be. That's because there are some exceptions to this rule. So adjectives go after nouns usually, as a general rule, but here we have another rule that is not hard, fast, never fails, is always this way. There are some exceptions, and we will have to learn what those exceptions are. First, mejor, we have seen this on our vocab list. Mi mejor amigo, mi mejor amiga. The word best comes before the noun, and that's just one we're going to have to learn. Same thing goes with the word for good. Good also goes before the noun. It doesn't go afterward. And so does bad. Mal, malo, mala. That goes before the noun. Another example of words, adjectives that go before the noun is that word mi right there. Mi is what we call a possessive adjective because that's the information that it gives us. It tells us who possesses this noun. So that's the information, that's the descriptive information that it provides. And we are going to learn all about those possessive adjectives today. Take a moment, pause this video, get this information, please, please, please. I expect you to know your possessive adjectives, show who owns what. So these possessive adjectives, while they will go before the noun, they do still have to agree with the noun. So if it is masculine singular or feminine singular for me, we would use me. But if it's masculine plural, feminine plural, it'd be mis. Notice gender isn't coded in the word me. Same thing happens with tú. The gender, tú, can be referred to a masculine or a feminine noun. But if it's plural, we've got to make tú plural. Tus. Tus amigos, tus amigas. Su, masculine or feminine. And then sus is the plural form. Now, su can mean his, her, or even your, if we're talking in the formal. Nuestro, nuestra, that's the masculine singular, feminine singular, our. And then we've got nuestros, nuestras. So 4 different ways to say our in Spanish. Nuestro, nuestra, nuestros, nuestras. 4 different ways to say y'alls. I'm going to stick with y'alls, don't judge me. Vuestro, masculine singular, vuestra, feminine singular. Vuestros, masculine plural, vuestras, feminine plural. And then last, we see the word su again. Su and sus. So the word su can mean his, her, your. It can also mean their, and it can mean you-alls, or your-alls, or however we would say that. A lot of different meanings can go with su. So maybe you'll find that helpful, maybe you'll find that confusing. I'm not sure how you're going to take it. For me, I find that very handy. It's just fewer words to have to learn. Mis, tus, sus, nuestros, nuestras, vuestros, vuestras, and sus are your plural forms, so don't forget about those. These must agree with the nouns they describe. All right, so let's practice a little bit with the syntax. I want you to tell me, is the word in red going to go in position A or position B? So, would you say la trabajadora prima está lista, or would you say la prima trabajadora está lista? Hopefully you're choosing position B, adjective going after the noun there. All right. Now here we have the word mis. I've already made a degree for you. It's describing abuelos, so I've made it plural. Now, is mis going to go before or after abuelos in position A or B? What are you thinking? Your possessive adjectives go before, right? Mejor. Now the word mejor, is this going to go before or after amigo? This is going to go in position A there, before amigo. Mi mejor amigo. We have to memorize that one. How about this one? Would it be la rubia profesora or la profesora rubia? This adjective goes after the noun. So far we've learned one group of adjectives, the possessive adjectives, my, your, his, her. They go before the noun. And then the word good and words good, better, and bad, like different variants of those also go before the noun. But our other standard adjectives go after. So let's summarize what we've talked about in this video. Number 1, adjectives are the kind of words that describe things, that describe nouns. All nouns in Spanish have gender, which you can identify usually by the O ending, which is masculine, or the A ending, which is feminine. No news there. That's old news. Any adjective must match the gender and plurality of the word described. We call this agreement, or in Spanish, concordancia. Number 4, most adjectives go after the noun they describe. And we're going to have to learn those exceptions when we come upon them. We've learned a few of those today. Articles like the, a, and some, those count as adjectives. Those are a special type of adjective, and those go in front, but we've known that since way back. What we've learned today is that possessive adjectives are also an exception, and we have learned what those possessive adjectives are. Mi, tú, su, nuestro, nuestra, vuestro, vuestra, and su, and then all of their plural forms, because these adjectives, just like all other adjectives, must agree in gender and plurality with the noun they describe. There you have it. Adjectives, syntax, and agreement. Gracias por su atención. Hasta la próxima. Chao.